Hi everyone, we are going to talk about adverb clauses. Adverb clauses are so much more difficult than adjectives. And so it's because they describe more things. Adjectives just describe nouns, but adverbs, they describe what?
Verbs, adjectives,
and adverbs. So that's the reason why they're more confusing. Adverb clauses, they have a main clause, which is your independent clause. And then it's plus a subordinating word. After, although, as, because. This sub means smaller or below, right? And ordinating means in order. You're going to put this subordinating word below the main clause, the independent clause, and it's going to cause this, the subordinating word is going to cause that clause to become a dependent clause. Okay? So, you have a main clause, then you have to have a subordinating word with a subject and a verb. So a clause has to have a subject and a verb, right? So subordinating word with the subject and verb, and it attaches to a main clause, because once you have a subordinating word, you have a dependent clause now. Do not use a comma with the main clause and then an adverb clause, but you do use a comma with an adverb clause, then the comma, and then the main clause. That's when you use your comma. Those are comma rules. So these are some of the very main words that you use when you want to use a subordinating word. You're causing everything to be an adverb clause when you're doing this. You use, and there's more out there. I just use the main ones that we see and use. After, although, as, because, before, if, since, unless, until, when, where, and while. Okay, you guys say it. Memorize these. They need to be memorized. Adverb clauses, and this is the same as an adverb. Adverb clauses tell how, when, where, why, because, under what condition, and oftentimes to what extent that it's describing. They also are modifiers of the independent clause. That means they're telling all of these things about the independent clause. So if you can answer any of these questions, then you know, and you're seeing the subordinating word, you know you have an adverb clause. And oftentimes they're called adverbial clauses. They're both. And it sounds more intense as when you say an adverbial clause, but they're the same thing. Now let's look at these sentences right here. This is a little story that I put together. Because you cleaned your bathroom, comma, let's play a game of your choice. Look, it's because, so this because is describing the play. Let's play. All right? So, see how because, if you see your word starting with because, you know, it's a describing word, it's because. If you start it with because, you know you've got an adverb clause. Because it's telling you because. Becauses are so easy to know if you're starting with that word. If I clean my bathroom really well, comma, I'll get to play 3 games. So see how you're starting with your subordinating word. Look, these are your subordinating words, and that means it takes a comma. Right there, it takes a comma. You need to make sure you know that. This is the independent clause. So if I said, I'll get to play 3 games if I clean my bathroom really well, then it wouldn't take a comma. But since we're putting the subordinating word first, it takes the comma. I cleaned my bathroom so well, comma, when Mom inspected, comma, Mom played 4 games. So see what happens when your dependent clause with your subordinating word sits in, this is your subject and your verb. It sits in the middle, it's taking 2 commas. This is a dependent clause. Okay? What happened when? See, it's describing when. You know, especially if you use the word when, you know you have a subordinating word, you know you have a dependent clause, you know you have an adverb clause. describing when Mom inspected, what happened?
Mom played 4 games.
Yep. It's describing played. All right, Mom chose 2 games after I chose 2 games. Look, no comma, because we're using our subordinating word at the end. This is the main clause plus the adverb clause. When I won 3 of the games, comma, Mom decided to play until she won a game. Starting with a subordinating word, right? And then, so that means it takes the comma. And then Mom decided to play. And but look what we have here. Another subordinating word, until she won. See, a subject and a verb. But look, no comma here, because this is part of the independent clause, right? This is your independent clause. So you're not taking the comma here. Does that make sense? But since we have the dependent clause in the middle, then it takes commas. But this is the independent clause, it's not taking the comma right here. Although I won most of the games, comma, Mom was happy for me. We're starting with our subordinating word. So this is your dependent clause. This is your adverb clause. And this is your independent clause. This is the independent clause. And this whole thing is your adverb clause. All right. I hope that you can really learn about your adverb clauses, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Bye.